Wednesday live stream. So we got a lot of things to cover. So let's just jump right in. So first of all, looks like Jerome Powell is making the rounds. And today he is out there and he is talking to the financial services panel. This is today, July 10th, and it's actually live right now. And from the things that he's been talking about, I mean, you can take it either way you want to. But basically what he said is this. And so far as what he said is like, look, we know that the labor market is softening a little bit. We like to see that. However, the different data points that we wanted to see for inflation really hasn't panned out to where we want it to be. So what's going to come down to is it's going to be higher for longer, and there's going to be no cuts for a while. And that's really what it comes down to. And I know people would say, well, that's awful. I mean, there's no cuts. But really what it says to me is that even though we know what Jerome is talking about, if we take a look at the markets themselves, it's like they don't really even care. This is actually from yesterday, from his other speech that he was giving, or his other committee that he was talking to. Talked about, again, soft labor markets. He talks about how there's considering cooling, and there was some responses to that. And if we take a look at the Bitcoin charts, I mean, this was yesterday when he's pretty much saying the exact same thing in the House Financial Services panel. There's obviously some nuances going on, but it's the same thing over and over again. And when I take a look at it, it's like, okay, how does this affect the market? How does this affect my portfolio? That's really what it comes down to, right? And we take a look at it from yesterday, there was a little bit of bounce because people like clarity, but it really didn't do much and just kind of went chopped sideways, so 57,000. But then here's the funny thing. Last night, around 9 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, which is also Eastern Standard Time, Bitcoin went from 57,000 almost to $60,000. And that was after everything was said, Jerome came out and everything else. So there's a lot of different things that are going on behind the scenes. Whales start to move things, whales start to buy, bots pick that up, and all of a sudden they start to buy. There's other information that's coming out. People are really excited about yesterday's ETF inflows. I mean, yesterday we had another massive, not a massive, but a pretty good inflow from Fidelity. We had from ARK. We had from BlackRock, and of course, Grayscale reversed its position of buying and actually went negative 651. But again, we went from 257,000 Bitcoin as far as the ETF to 261. So that's progress. So again, for the crypto market, there's a little bit of a pump last night after hours, maybe the Asian markets waking up to figure out what was going on. But we're back right down to 57,000. This is what par for the course for the summer. Now, if we take a look at the traditional markets, it's like they don't even care either. They're like, okay, there's going to be no rate cuts. We kind of figured that out. So we're just going to actually, if we take a look at the S&P 500 over the last 5 days, I think we're almost at we're at an all-time high today. Look at that. Let me make sure. 1 month, 6 month, year to date, 1 year. Yeah, the S&P 500 has hit all-time highs. So congratulations for everybody's in the traditional market, looking pretty good. NASDAQ, I think it's the same thing, 5 days, 1 month, 6 month, 1 year, 5 years, same deal. So we take a look at that. And then of course, the CME group, as they take a look at where we're going as far as the rate cuts, 4% as well. And maybe perhaps on the 18th of September for the next meeting, or actually about July, we get a rate cut from 525 to 72%, or 500 to 525. So that's what's going on in the market as far as the macro part, which is interesting. And, we should know that. We should pay attention to it. It's, great. But let's talk about the broader crypto market and some altcoins. So on top of that neutral news, in my opinion, remember this. Everybody's been talking about Germany and how they're dumping their crypto or dumping their Bitcoin, which that's their right to do. I think it's going to be the worst trade of all time, but we'll see. But I just have to commend the German government for not dumping all at once. They actually did a pretty good job. I know this isn't a very popular opinion, but if I was going to exit out of a position, I'm not going to just do like a lump sum, like, bleh, here you go. They did a good job. Look, for number of Bitcoin on June 17th, they had almost 50,000. And then roughly 6-7 days later, 47,000. Then 6 days later, 46,000. Then a couple days later, 44, and so on and so forth. Till today, they got 22,000. So I know this isn't a great trade for them, but if you can see as like how you want to exit, it's a pretty good job, Germany. So congratulations. So that's what's going on in the broader crypto market. Now let's switch gears and let's just talk about regulation real quick. I'm not a big fan of Gary Gensler, as I think most of us aren't, but it's interesting to me that we still have these back and forth fighting. This is from Eleanor Terrett. She is over at Fox Business, and she put this tweet out. I haven't got a confirmation, so take this with a grain of salt, but I believe this has already been said before. But the CFTC chairman, Benham, says an Illinois court confirmed that Bitcoin and ETH are digital commodities under the Commodity Exchange Act, which we all know that Bitcoin was pretty much labeled a commodity, right? But the Ethereum part is kind of interesting, which makes me wonder why is the SEC in there for this ETF and moving forward? But if you're not familiar, this is Chairman Ross and Benham, and he's come out and he said for a number of times that it's not just Bitcoin that's a commodity. He says, and Eleanor says it again here, that 70% to 80% of the crypto market are non-securities. I would love to have this person just go to the SEC and go, look, I know this is a big peeing match, but this is what I think it is, and I know what you guys think it is for whatever reason that you do. I think we should actually get some clarity and move forward. Unfortunately, we can't do that until Congress decides to act and puts a stop to this madness. But I like how this is a positive direction. As the CFTC chair says, look, 80% of these things are commodities. They should be under us, and we'll give clear guidance. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. A lot of things to digest there, but also the open network. So on this channel, as you may know, I'm highly biased, and I own the open network, or some people call it Toncoin. And I saw this article today, and it made me think, like, why is this going on? But it made sense in a second. So Ton blockchain is to get a new layer 2 network based on Polygon tech. It's called TAC. And I was thinking to myself, I go, that doesn't make any sense, because why would you need a layer 2 solution? Because layer 2 solutions for me personally are just something that you use because your layer 1 is super slow and archaic. That would be Ethereum. And I know people love Ethereum. I mean, I hold Ethereum, but I mean, you can't do anything with the layer 1 solution, especially as the fees go up as people are transacting on that chain itself. But we did this deep dive on the open network. There's a link in the description. You can check it out for Toncoin. And we talked about how the transactions per second were over 100,000. This was actually verified by an independent, I think it was Certic, who verified this display of TPS and throughput. So I was kind of baffled as to why they're going into a new layer 2. And this is why, because I forget some things. So a new project called Ton Application Chain, or TAC, is building a layer 2. The project, which is backed by the open platform. So the open platform, that's also the thing that actually backs Ton. They said, yeah, let's do this. I thought it was just some random organization, but no, it's backed by the open platform, the open tech behind Ton. And they say, we'll rely on tech from the Ethereum-focused layer 2 developer Polygon, which is, to me, was even more baffling. Like, why do you do this? And here's where it makes sense. A key feature of the TAC project is that it will be compatible with EVM, or Ethereum Virtual Machine. This is crucial because developers who have built apps under the widespread Ethereum standard could easily port over to the new TAC Layer 2 network within Ton. TAC is designed to enable EVM-based decentralized apps to Ton's ecosystem, while also allowing Ethereum developers to build new programs for Telegram's users. What this gobbledygook means in the word salad is essentially this. Ethereum developers, in all the different products that are out there, if you don't like what's going on, you can bridge things over in a very easy way with TAC. And what that means is that if you're looking at DeFi and TVL, or total volume locked up, Ethereum's the king. Ethereum has the most right now, hands down. It's crushing everybody, right? As far as DeFi. But what if you could transfer something over to, say, Ton? And how hard would that be, especially with, like, wormholes and tunnels and all the things that you have to do to actually transfer over? What if they can make it super simple? And they can make it super cheap, because what do people like? Easier, faster, stronger. Simpler, faster, stronger, or faster, easier. When I thought about that, I go, well, this makes a lot of sense. But then the question was, well, how much does this Telegram actually have as far as TVL locked up in DeFi? And the answer is pretty shocking, because I didn't take a look at this because of DApp Radar never reported it. But before I get into that, which I don't know, put in the comment section right now how much you think TVL is locked up on time. Do you think it's like 1 million or like 5 million, maybe a couple 100,000? I'm just curious what everybody thinks, like how much is locked up. As you're doing that, I just want to bring to everybody's attention about Polygon, which again, I own this, so I'd like it to do very well. So maybe I'm a little bit biased. Not maybe, it's a fact. But if you go to Ben's site, into the Cryptoverse, and we steal some of his data, not all of it, and we take a look at the risk factors, or the risk levels. Right now, Solana is the least risky. It's at 0.6. Ethereum, 0.61. Maker's actually high. Bitcoin, 0.5. So right in the middle, right? So as the numbers start to go down, it becomes less risky. Stellar is almost at the bottom. Excuse me, not Stellar. Polygon. Polygon is almost at the bottom at 0.1. The only two that are less risky to get into is Tezos and Algorand, which is fine. But if I take a look at this again, and I bring up the risk levels, let's see that. So that corresponds, and because it was amazing to me, because Polygon did such a gangbusters move in the last bull run, and even through 2023 it did pretty well, but it seemed like it's just fallen out of favor. And I think that's the time when you want to look at these projects and go, maybe that's something I should get into. Not financial advice, but I'm just telling you that the risk factor levels right here is super low at 0.17. That means at a 51 cents price tag. Well, what would that look like at, say, like a risk level of 3 or 4 or 5? And this, I don't want you to construe this with price prediction, but it's just levels that you might want to think about taking profits. So if I take a look over here, 0.5 is $1.32 for Polygon. That'd be pretty nice. That'd be like almost triple of where we're at right now. Just saying. And if we come up here to 0.75, that's almost $5. And if we went all the way to the height, and again, this isn't price predictions, they're just risk factors or risk levels. At 1.0, you're looking at $15.57. That's not me saying it. That's Ben's website. Don't cut my head off. I'm just the messenger. Interesting, right? So that's Polygon. And I'm not saying it's going to do great. I'm just saying that's what the risk factors say. But going back down to this, why this layer 2 solution for EVM and how much TVL it actually has locked up. Did you know, and we talked about this in the deep dive, that Telegram isn't just a messaging app. I mean, you download it on Apple, you can download it on Google, but you know that you can have apps within apps, and they're doing a ton of this. So there's a link in the description again for the TapSpot, which is the Telegram App Center, kind of like Apple Apps, Google Play Store, right? And if you go there, I made a little recording today. This is how it works. When you go there into the app or the bot, you click on the App Center. And you can open this up, and here's all the apps. And you can break them down by Web3 apps, play to earn, and this thing called the Open League. When you click on the Open League and click on See All, you can see that the Open League is where you go to use these apps to do some type of farming for a potential airdrop later. And they've got like 9 or 10 so far. And what you might notice already is they have a DEX within their app that you can use right now for all the open network swaps. Crazy, right? I didn't know it was even there. And then the question then is, what the hell is the Open League? That's a good question, actually, because I had to look this up because I learned about this a long time ago. But if you look at the overview, it's where you can use these apps within the app, play some games, use a DEX, use the weather service or whatever they have, use an organization app or whatever. And at some point, you might get a airdrop. Mostly it's going to be for points in the beginning. And then you can also farm rewards. I'm not big into this. I don't really like doing this as far as liquidity pools, but you can give it a shot if you want to. I'm just not doing it. Privacy competition, airdrops, again, for the community. And they talk about, here's some upcoming ones that they give you hints about what it is. But the big one for me was DeFi grants. So when I open up this, I said, wait a second. You're telling me there's there's $738 billion or 736 million, 388,304 DeFi is locked up. When did this happen? So I went to DApp Radar, and DApp Radar is a great website, but it'll tell you like how much is actually TVL is locked up. And like I said, Ethereum's the king right now. Lido has 30 billion locked. Aave has 10 billion. I get 9.7. Oof. Have fun with the restaking. MakerDAO 5, Rocket Pool, Summer 5, blah, blah, blah. A lot, right? But then you get into those areas like PancakeSwap, which is on BNB. That's 844 million. That's like only 100 million more TVL locked up than what the open network has. Marinade Finance, Balancer, PancakeSwap V3. So I guess that'd be it. And then here's StoneFi. So I was kind of surprised. First of all, these numbers are off. You got 303 million, the other one. It was just surprising to me just how much is actually locked up on the open network and how things are going. So again, do your own due diligence. There's a link in the description for that video where I talk about a ton. But it was just interesting how that all worked out. And that's it for that piece. Let me just think about that in the comment section. Then lastly, before we get into Q&A, I did a quick survey for everybody. I just want to see where people stand, right? And what I'm going to do is these surveys, I'm going to run these for over the next couple of weeks. This is just the first survey of the first day. And I want to see what everybody thinks about who or which project is going to appreciate in the next bull run. So it's kind of like a little contest because you can't compare, say like the top 5 tokens, the Bitcoin, the BNB, Ethereum. You can't compare that to like number 1,000 because like, of course, the riskier assets will appreciate faster and probably more, but more risky than the next bull run. So what I want to do is I want to start with like the top 10. I said, which one do you think will appreciate the most in the next bull run? Will it be Ethereum? It's kind of tough. So they already have a large market cap. Solana or Toncoin. And so far, Solana's kicking the tar out of everybody. So after this, then we'll go from like 11 through 20. And I'll ask the question, okay, if Solana wins, okay, now which one do you think? Solana? Is it going to be Avalanche or Cardano or Polkadot or something like that? And then we'll just keep going down. I just want to see who thinks is going to do the actual best moving forward. Anyhow, there's a link in the description. You can take that. And then also, because the market's been pretty junk, if you want to win, when you're over on Twitter on my account taking that poll, why don't you try to win $300? All you got to do is follow Project V, me, and then follow this quest and like and repost the tweet. That's it. And then we're going to do a giveaway in about a month. So $300 is up total for grabs. So give it a shot. And that's it for today. So look, like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to stick around, we'll do a little Q&A and we'll go from there. But if you got to take off, take off. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you coming by. All right. Matt says, I think Fathom is a dark horse, FTM. It could very well be. I don't own any, so I don't really talk about it too much. Does that mean that it's awful? No, it just means I probably won't talk about it because I don't own it. And then Aristotle Plato says, everyone remember Rob's 5 golden rules. Those are, yeah, if you want to do it. The first one is don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And the last one is take profits. If you remember those two, that's pretty good. The next one is probably, the third one is probably the bigger one, which is everything's a scam until proven otherwise. Don't use leverage and don't leave things on exchanges. I think are pretty good too. Let's see. Seth says, the Chang hard fork complete. In comes the age of Voltaire, and he's talking about the Cardano upgrade. Congratulations. Thinks that worked out pretty well. Let's see. Voteless says ton. Also ton. What ton? Ton is my vote. Well, yeah. My vote is Solana. Does anybody think Ethereum's going to do better? And Ahab Najim says, we are in a bear market, are we not? Depends on if you go for the definition of what a bear market is, which is a 20% top from a 20% reduction from the top, plus market sentiment in a fearful category, and plus negative economic factors. So if you put all three together, yeah, we are. So are we not 20% from the top of the total market cap? Yes. And what is the fear and greed index right now? Fear. And then Are the economic factors looking fantastic? No. And there's some other things that you can point to, but as far as that, sure. There's a bearish sentiment. Are we in a bull market right now? Some people say we are in a bull market, even though it may not fit the standard definition. I still feel quite bullish for the long term, but if you look at the short term, that's it. Ive says, what do you mean it's all gone? Meaning, for everything that you invest into, every investment takes risk. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's like you're putting it on FTX, you're putting your life savings, or you're investing in your friend's new business venture or something, right? Everything has risk. I would argue that your friend's business venture is going to be pretty bad, pretty risky. But if you know that there's a ton of risk, so when you take your hard-earned money, let's say it's $10,000, and you put it into one crypto token, and you think to yourself, okay, it's all gone. Meaning, if I invest this and everything goes away, am I okay with that? And if you say, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with losing $10,000. Then it's okay. Because never invest more than you can afford to lose. Meaning, again, if you invest something you think to yourself, this is all gone, and it doesn't faze you, then you should invest that. Because you know better than anybody else what you can get into. On the flip side, you take 20 bucks and you say, you know what, I'm going to put this on whatever, bonk. Yeah. And it makes you sweat and think to yourself, well, how am I going to afford Arby's? This isn't going to work out. Then you probably shouldn't be investing. So that's what I mean by it's all gone. It's a little trick to kind of make you realize, like, am I investing too much? Because if I feel, if I get heart palpitations and I get a little angina, heart issues, and I start sweating, my palms are sweaty, and I'm double visioned, maybe you shouldn't invest. Ben installed alarm when someone uses his site in his stream. Well, that's going to be kind of awkward tomorrow at NFA Live. Yeah. Stream is good. That's good. Longevity, the downside. True. Roadless says Polygon has good tech, almost no downtime, and arithmetic, and it's fast. It's true. It's fast and stable. And as I understand it, it's very cheap. Let's see. There's a great website called cryptofees.info. There's Polygon. Wow. For 1 day fees, it's only been $20,000. This isn't a great one. Let's go to Artemis Terminal. Here, I'm going to have you guys do it. So you guys can look at this and not just say like, hey, Rob gaslit me. He told me that there was no fees. But you can look it up yourself. app.artemis.xyz. Let's see. I got Ethereum, Near, Solana, Base, Ton, and Cardano. It sounds about like me. All right. Must have left off from my last session. Let's do Polygon and Polygon ZK EVM. Fees. What I'd like to know is per transaction. Oh my God. Yeah, 20,000 and 217. Oh my God. Revenue is super low. Daily transaction. Do me a favor. If anybody can transact in Polygon right now on your MetaMask wallet or something, let me know what the transaction fee is right here. That'd be nice to know. Yeah, must be pretty low if the transaction, or if no one's using it. But actually, you can take a look if anybody's using it. Daily active addresses. Let's see who's winning here. Daily active addresses. Polygon is almost 4,000. Wow, Cardano with 31,000. It's pretty good. Ton, 367,000. Ethereum, 400,000. Base, 536. Look at Polygon, 1.2. Okay, that makes more sense. Polygon, 1.2 million. Solana, 1.6. And Near Protocol. See, you take a look at that and you say, okay, well, there's that many daily transactions and the fees are that low for the total. They must be doing something right as far as keeping costs low and keeping things fast. Easier, cheaper, faster. Interesting. See? I'm glad you guys asked these questions because then I remember to look them up. Hey, man. I didn't want to show them your website and all your data, but they forced me to. So sorry about that. I'll get you back tomorrow on NFA Live. Hey, Ben's here. Let's see. Gregor says, have you updated your Cardano node? I have not. No, I take that back. The guys just talked to me yesterday. They said they're going through the upgrades right now. That was yesterday. I'll send them a message. They should be already upgraded. Forget what I said. Good morning, Robin, everyone. Seth says, I am disappointed just a green screen. Does that mean Rob's going to jump in the pool? Just a green screen. Look at that. Just a green screen. Don't you worry about it. It's actually me and my mom, and I'm in her basement. Let's see. For me, Crypto Bear, there is at the top. All right. Model live show. Okay, this is what I was looking for. From Tangent to Coinbase for Polygon, this is the price. I don't think is that correct? Seems pretty low. Okay. And they say, to be clear, you will jump through the pool. Okay, right. Yeah, just got to find a pool. Hopefully I can go to Walmart and get one of those above ground ones real quick. Yeah, that's okay. Prosecutors, you need a regular computer to run SPO per account, or do you need a server? The team does all that, but you need your own. It depends on what you're doing and how safe you want it to be and how much uptime you actually want. So it just depends on what you want to do. Ours so far is like 99.9% uptime. What's this? 0.08 mana from Binance to anywhere. Okay. 8 cents. It seems kind of high. Oh, well. That'd be better than the 25 bucks that we pay or 50 bucks for the Ethereum layer 1. All righty. Says, if someone has $1 million in crypto, how can they multiply it? Would be ideal to take profits and rebuy when it dips. I gotta tell you, if this was a comment in like a regular comment section, not the live stream, I would think to myself, okay, the next statement will probably be, you need to follow XYZ blah, blah, blah person. But Hob, since you're here, I think maybe you're a real person. I will say like this, you can become a millionaire in crypto very, very quickly. And the way to do that is to start off as a billionaire. So you have to understand that all these things that we do, super risky, like we talk about. And as far as multiplying it, that is a question that you want to think to yourself, actually, this is a pretty good thought experiment. Let's say everybody here is $1 million, okay? You have $1 million and you have to get to 2 million. You have to double it. And if you don't double it, something catastrophic will happen to you. Whether that be, some kind of famine or something will happen to the world or something just like the worst possible thing that can happen. If you had $1 million, you had to put it into crypto and you had to double it, let's say within 2 years, where would you put it? If you had to, and it had to be something that you had to do, would you say, well, Ethereum's a pretty good bet, but would you? You say, well, Solana's a pretty good bet. Well, would you? Or would you just say, you know what? Bitcoin's the safest thing I can think of. I think in 2 years, it'll double. Oh, here's another thing. Let's even let's even make it more of an issue. Let's say you have $1 million, you have to double it within 1 year. No, 18 months. And if you do it, if you double it, someone will magically give you 20x. Now, where would you put it? Think about that every time that you're investing into any kind of crypto project, and think to yourself, what's the safest play here? What can I actually go for? And FRMC says, dude, if you get $1 million, you put 9% of it in a money market fund and gamble the remaining 100K in crypto. Sure, you can do that. I would actually, if I had $1 million and I had to double something, well, we're talking about doubling. I think you're talking about longevity. If I had $1 million, the first thing I would do is take a look at all the different properties that are around here in Puerto Rico and see which ones are up for sale, which ones need renovations, and which ones that I could possibly flip. That's probably what I would go first. But if I had to do it, I'd put it in Bitcoin. Mr. Techno Goody says it right. Brown tripping, not selling enough has kept lots of folks from multiplying wealth, myself included. It's okay. We'll go through it. I think at some point we'll get it right. Hopefully it'll be this bull run. Who knows? Yeah, if it needs to be safe, just buy Bitcoin. So now think about that. There's a reason why, like, even though I cover a lot of altcoins, I even have a channel called Dan Degen, for Pete's sakes. As much as there is out there, I still have over 70% of my net worth in Bitcoin. Or excuse me, in my crypto portfolio is in Bitcoin, to be 100% clear. So, like, that's me talking, and I try to keep up with all the different altcoins that are out there, and I get a ton of different offers to talk about them or invest into them. Also, I don't talk about it unless I invest into it. That's it. So that's it. Well, everybody, that's it for today. So thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. I got to take off. So I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.